Well, hello again, Waterboro residents. This is No Way of No Way Out Radio. Um, I thought it was time to let's start looking into what we got coming up the next couple months. There's some good points, bad points. There's some things that need to be clarified. Maybe that was the reason for the email that I never used to get before, and I get the stuff on my own, Gary. That I do. Um, but thank you anyway for the email. Um, the first thing I want to address that is very concerning to me. Number one, the the language used by some. Um, when did Waterboro residents become those that must maintain, have Friendship Park, this, that, the other thing? But yet we have little events like a jazz festival. But the jazz festival is not geared for us. This was concerning when I heard this lady speaking the other night. So let's listen to it in her words.
Event, it won't draw 1,000 people. It might draw 300, but those 300 tend to be older, highly educated, with a tremendous amount of disposable income. So good tourism coming into Waterboro, good exposure for all the businesses supporting it. Any questions, or I'll bring up Dave.
Well, Dave is kind of the I guess he would be somebody that you would engage with if, in fact, we got to get beyond whether we have alcohol in Friendship Park first.
Right, and the reason I brought him was when we first considered it, I contacted all the other, there's 4 other Blues Fests that take place. They all do serve alcohol.
Yep.
I found reputation-wise through the Maine Parks and Rec Association, as well as talking to Gorham Recreation, that Rustic Taps is by far the most credible, most organized, and it'll speak for himself when he comes up. This is what he does, is go in front of selectmen and get these licenses all over towns for big events, and he's especially cautious and has all his ducks in a row so that everything runs smoothly. This is not to be a big drink fest, but we will actually make money off of selling some of the alcohol. We're talking strictly just beer and wine, and it is a daytime event, so there's not going to be mass quantities of drinking. But by having it available there, not only will we profit from it, but it will avoid people sneaking it in. Because no matter what you do, if you don't have it, they're going to bring it. This way, we've already posted no outside food or drink. We have the right then to search their bags as they're coming through and monitor it without any complaints, because if they would like to have a $4 beer or a $6 a glass of wine, we're going to make that available to them upon your approval.
And relative to the food, is he going to do the food as well, or is he just doing them?
We were just going to have him do the
Okay, why I'll stop it there for now is, do you see who she's catering to? Right. She is catering to the summer residents that come up here from Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, the as I call them, the yuppies. And they come up here and, well, they're not very nice to us residents. They're not very nice to us. And now here, this event, this is not for Waterboro residents. This is for the people that come here, and while they get big, they do get pretty good tax breaks for being summer residents. And, well, do you think they really care about the area when they come up here and they spend a couple months at their camp down on the lake? Why are we catering to these people? Friendship Park, supposed to be a family park where we can go and, There's a ball field, and we'll get into that a little bit. But no, what she's saying here, this is a problem. Enough of this drinking everywhere. And I'm sorry. I've seen it before. We've all seen it many times. She wants the right, they want the right to, oh, well, we'll search you to come in. So I guess now they're going to be like the TSA. Well, at the same time, oh, this ain't going to be a drink fest. Really? How do you know? People show up there and they could already be half in the bag. You won't know. Next thing you know, they start pounding down. They have all that disposable income as she speaks of. What kind of talk is this? To a little bedroom community of most of the people that struggle to make ends meet. But these people just don't seem to care because we're supposed to like one time when my wife was at Hannaford and a person from Massachusetts very rudely beeping and beeping and beeping the horn at her wanted my wife to move the carts out of her way so she could pull in and park. My wife just kept right on walking and ignored her. We're tired of putting up with these people. We're tired of our taxes catering to these people when it doesn't help us in any way, shape, or form. $4 beer and $6 glass of wine. Come on. This ain't Boston. This ain't New York. It's a little bedroom town. Get over it. But now, my real concern, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on here? I want you to listen to this man right here, Gordon Littlefield. And he's always smug because remember, his career was in the public sector, was for the Keystone Cops of the York County Sheriff's Department.
Tell us about your vacation, or?
I had a good time. The weather was nice down there. I'd just like to remind folks that school is in session and the speed limits are significantly reduced around the school areas at certain times that are posted. I've received some complaints from some citizens in town regarding speeding in school zones on the old Alfred Road and along Route 5. So I'd be very cautious because we are going to be notifying our contract deputies, and their presence may be seen in those areas, and if you are speeding, it will be to your detriment because they have an endless supply of invitations to the district court. So just a
Yeah. Oh, an endless supply. Well, usually fascism works that way. When you have the Marxism, which is the thugs in the street, which protect the fascism, which is laws that oppress the people. Now, one thing that Gordon, in his infinite bullyism, is not expressing to the people, maybe they should learn how to mark, as he says, oh, it's posted. Well, yeah. For what? Come on, Gordon. If we really wanted to take this evidence to court, they're called speed traps. In your infinite wisdom and your bashing of the Waterboro citizens and your verbal attacks, why don't you do your research? What we see here, this is coming on to, this right here just says south on 35 or Route 5. Now, what we see here is we're coming along the school, coming to the school. Nope, no school yet. Oh, here's a sign. Now you're coming along here, you're paying attention. There's the fire station coming out right here. Can you really see that right there? Let's see how far we have to draw in before you can. That's as far as I can draw in. Are you going to see this kind of lettering? For this school system coming up from 8:30 to 9:30, and from 2:30 to 3:30 is 15 miles an hour. Finally, a blinking light, well, that was never there, has now finally showed up. And it's been there since, as you see here, this is 2013. So that's how much even our selectmen, because it was mentioned, when did the light show up? The light's always been there. When the light is flashing, where's the sign? When light is flashing. But instead, they have this down here, ladies and gentlemen, that nobody can hardly read. But speed trap, remember. Now, when you come down here, let's see where the school actually is. So if you're driving along and all of a sudden, whoa, what is this? There's the elementary school. See? So you're driving along and oh, wow, you don't even know where the school is. It's hidden. You come down here and oh, look, here's the exit to it. So now you come along, so okay, yeah, phew, you didn't get caught. Now you know it's there, or you're still not sure of the times. So you pick it back up to 35 and you're cruising along down the road. What's this? End school zone. Okay, so you're just cruising now. And you pick back up your speed. And right about the time you pick up your speed, see a couple houses. Let's keep traveling. This is nice traveling, isn't it? You don't even pay attention. Then all of a sudden, what? What's this? Was it? Did I miss it? Nope, I don't think I did. Oh, but it's coming up. It's coming up, I think. Oh, there it is. There's another little tiny sign buried down here that says what? Now you have another school system. And, well, oh, these are different times. These are, I think, see, you can't really see, ladies and gentlemen. This is how bad it is. Here's your normal, see, whoop, let me go back down. Let me go back down. So then you come down here and all of a sudden, poof, out of the trees. Now here's another one. Here's your other school. See? And you come along. So the problem is that Gordon's not letting people know when he's, acting tough, is that it's not well marked. It's not well marked at all. And the biggest thing with that is, number one, entrapment. Number two, speed trap. Number three, why don't you make it so people can understand instead of setting them up and acting tough, Gordon? Why don't you go there with your Keystone Cops and do it right? We're tired of it. You're not doing yourselves any favor. And remember, is there anybody to run against this clown? Really? Come on. We need somebody. But now, let's move on real quick. There's something else that's going to be, that keeps popping up over and over again. And I've told you in the other videos, be careful of this steering committee. Now let's listen to this.
When we formed the community center committee, I pictured something that would fit, like on that piece of land that was donated. And I'm not sure that we ever really talked about what we expected out of it. And I see Gary's going to talk about it later, so I don't want to step on his stuff. But there's been some interest on that committee for a sports complex, expo, convention center type thing. And to me, it's kind of apples and oranges. And I'm wondering if maybe we should split off a sports complex committee, because I think that the Friends of the Library would be willing to help us financially and with advice on their last attempt. I don't think they'd be interested in helping out with a sports complex.
But isn't this, Isn't this the objective of the committee is to come back with, and it may very well come back with the effort of, we got to split because there's a huge support for this one thing and then there's another support for the other thing. But that's really what we're looking for the committee to do, right?
That was my question. Was there an expectation with the other selectmen of what was going to happen, or is this kind of a blank check for that committee to come up with what they come up with?
I think it was a blank check to come up with ideas of what we needed or what the townspeople wanted. Whether it was a library, bigger town office.
Okay, what I'm stopping this right here, ladies and gentlemen. It was supposed to be a steering committee. They were supposed to go out and take the next couple of years and see what the people in town are thinking. As you see already, what is happening? What is happening? They're looking for a sports complex, is what they're looking for. And they're also looking for the Taj Mahal of libraries, community centers, and this and that. They've been trying for this for years. It's a big expense onto the taxpayers, and it comes down to nothing more than build it and they will come. There's no use for this stuff. The reason they're having this problem now is because of how corrupt our school systems have become. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But with this here, as you see, Tim sitting right there. Oh, it's a sports complex. We need a sports complex. And I want to show you right here now. Let's see what Gary has to say about this same thing.
Enforce publicly that decision is totally up to the water district and has really had nothing to do with the town. We've been talking a little bit about the community center steering committee here. Their third meeting will be April 17th. The second meeting, had a wide-ranging discussion with Chris Burnett, business owner and basketball coach here, talking more about the athletic side of a possible
conflict of
community
interest
center complex, if you will. Some of the profitability of if you build it large enough to do other things with the building other than athletics, that can be helpful to the bottom line. And the next meeting will center more on library issues and what was done in the previous library development endeavor that was, what now, 7 years ago? Is that right?
Yeah.
Plus or minus?
Now, with all of this, you see, so I guess there's somebody on this committee that's a business owner, and he must be the summer rec baseball coach. To me, like always in Waterboro, that is a conflict of interest because he's going in there and what's he steering for? A sports complex. Now I want to show you something back here on the map, ladies and gentlemen. When you come up here, and let's get this around so we can all see what's going on. We'll go into 3D and we'll turn her back north. Number 1, elementary school. What's this? You see this great big, this is basically what they're talking about, sports complex, except there'll be a building too for them. The problem is the school is so corrupt. We can't use these. Even in the summer rec programs, everything. Oh no, we're not allowed to use these, even though millions and millions of our taxes go into funding it. Come right there, there's their elementary school. You see all nice trees, everything else. Nobody can see nothing. And oh, now they're talking about it. But you see, there's no signage. So don't let Gordon fool you. So when you come down here, the Friendship Park they're talking about is right here. Here's Friendship Park. But they want to allow to have a jazz festival with what? 200 or 300 people? Where are they going to park? What's this going to be? Where are they going to have a beer tent? All this, that, and the other thing. And, you know, where's people going to park? There ain't enough right here to park 200 people. So they'll be parked up and down here, and big inconvenience for all the taxpayers. But what about this sports complex that's never utilized the right way? And because of the school, Shall we go look at their high school? Let's go look at the high school. Let's back up. There it is. Now here's their high school. A great big field down here nobody can use. This was such a corrupt mess that the school pulled. See, there's fields here, nobody can use them, no nothing, nobody's allowed, but million. We said no. You didn't take care of this. You see how this is all being destroyed. It's just the grass is going. This has never been maintained. And what's happened is back in the day, I'm not sure when this picture was, but what happened is they wanted $3.4 million to redo this whole sports complex right here. They said, and the taxpayers said, no, you're not taking care of what you have here. Why would we tell you, okay. So what they done is when they lost, they waited until a time when people weren't paying attention and they snuck it in on a ballot and oh, see, it passed. And the people went, huh? But while they were doing this for the past few years, look at this. Here's the Lions Club. And look, here's another field. Oh, the school took right over these fields, took right over everything they could. None of this stuff is used right. But now they're talking what? More land and another sports complex? And the person really steering the committee now and backed by, well, as we heard, one of our selectmen, oh, just happens to be the baseball coach that is now steering the committee not to an overall view of what the people want, but now, a typical steering committee. We're going to steer it through conflict of interest to what we want. Enough of this crap is enough. Enough. We don't need a sports complex. We need somebody with enough balls in our town hall to stand up to this corrupt school system. And I really don't care about the fascist laws coming down from the state. If you wouldn't bow down to them all the time, if you'd stand up. Revolution is revolution. Gordon Littlefield likes to play with paper. Well, we like to invest in, well, heavy metals. So let's see what else kind of babbling bull is coming from this. And this is babbling. It's really pathetic to hear this same stuff that's been going on for years. Because, you see, what Tim's talking about, when he talked about the land he's talking about, this was the library land right here. And yes, I was a big part of shutting it down because this is Waterboro's toxic waste pit that they built the school on top of. And yes, it is a toxic waste pit that used to be a gravel pit owned by the person right here, that Rickard, that took off in the middle of the night and abandoned everything because the contamination from here when they put the school in has contaminated everybody's water. But they don't care. They don't care at all. They wanted to put the big Taj Mahal of libraries in here. But this is a big swamp. It's all part of the same water and flushing this and toxins and everything else. So the people voted it down, and luckily it didn't come back. This land should go back to the landowners, whatever. The town should not have any right to anything in here, and that's it. The towns, according to the Constitution, you're not real estate brokers. You're not. But let's see real quick what else is going on.
The rest of them,
On defense of the school department, because I work there part-time,
Real quick, now we're finding out who this guy is. And what they're talking about is what I just showed you in the school. He works part-time for the school system, so he's living off your taxes. And, well, he's also in the selectmen, so he's getting more of your taxes. And now he's defending the school. And it's all about, it's not marked right, it's not cleared right, it was never taken care of right, but now here it is again. It's the taxpayers' fault because of an incompetent fascist school that indoctrinates your children into thinking it's all right to riot in the street and demand the government take our guns. Heavy metals say no. Try it. But I digress. So that's what he's talking about. So just listen a bit.
Every child in the district, whether they use the bus or not, has to have a
Has to
seat
have a
on a
seat.
bus.
I
That's
know.
why,
I know.
like what Dwayne just said, a lot of these buses are empty because the parents feel the need to transport their kids
And
for
I
whatever
can-
reason.
I can understand that, because some of the parents have to go to work and
Yeah.
they can't wait for the bus or whatever, and they drop them off, but
Now, this is propaganda, and this is babbling, because the way they've set it up here in this town, yes, they have great big buses with 5, 6 kids on them. But the thing is, if you've got to get up and you've got to get ready for work yourself, and you've got to get your kids ready for the bus, because the bus is going to pick your kid up at 6 o'clock in the morning. The elementary school, well, once they drop off at 7 o'clock, then these kids are getting, these kids are not going to get picked up until 8, and the parents don't want their kids riding around on a bus for an hour and a half. There's so much with these school systems do not care. And just as you see, the town hall will propagandize the whole thing, protecting the school system that, well, let's listen a little bit here.
Dollars it's up on one-time capital projects was a significant number, a significant amount. Waterboro's portion of the school budget increase will be $190,000. So these total up to $672,000 total increase, which is a very significant number. And in response to that, because of the healthy fund balance that we have, selectmen have chosen to use up to $800,000 from our healthy fund balance to reduce the impact of the mill rate that will hopefully be less than 10 cents. So,
Okay, what he's saying there is, of course, the school system's going to get $190,000. They already know. The people that are brainwashed into the school system are going to show up in droves like they always do to vote yes to increase now to almost a $42 million budget for 2,800 students, K through 12. 2,800. Do the math on that. So who's getting rich? The unionized teachers, the unionized staff, the unions and pensions and Cadillac healthcare plans. Boy, a lot of people getting rich off in your blood, sweat, and, well, soon to be your deaths, because, well, you're not going to have anything left. They've already drained the blood out of us. Now they're trying to squeeze blood out of a turnip. And I'm sorry, Gary, but I don't agree with that. You're going to take money out of surplus to cover the increase of a school. When the surplus is gone, you're going to have to raise the mill rate no matter what to cover that school increase, because that school increase will never go away. And next year it'll be more, and the year after that it'll be more, and they've already told us what their goal is. Their goal, this new superintendent, for his cash cow, wants another $4 million. He wants to crank this up to 45 million or more as the students continue to dwindle. And this is all to pay for their salaries, their benefits, their summers off sitting on computers, being hateful little trolls, all of it. Enough is enough, people. We are not here to serve you. And that is, you're going to learn the hard way. You truly are. Now, with this ballot thing, let's listen real quick.
well, Public Works Director and I are in agreement that we would like to hire Mr.
Whoop, that was the wrong one. The ballots that I was talking about, when they're having a ballot problem, real quick, I want to show right here. I'll put that like that. I really don't want the rest the rest of that in there. Let me kind of set that there. There we go. Um, this letter right here in the Waterboro Reporter is from a lady that was on the budget committee. The problem she's talking about they're having here is we voted for a line item referendum vote. That's how we wanted to now vote on our budgets. Well, what they're doing now is they're saying, well, oh, it's so you don't get confused with lots of ballots. And they're starting to combine stuff. Well, when any town government starts to combine spending initiatives and line item spending, when they start sliding it into other department budgets, it's to hide it. So, well, you're going to have to pass this whole line item, and well, yeah, this extra spending happens to be in there. Oops. Or this excessive spending happens to be in there. But, well, you're going to turn down the fire department, you're going to turn down this, you're going to turn down that, and that's how they play the game. And Gary, that's what we don't want. And in your mailer that's coming out, according to your email, your mailer that's coming out, well, that's not right. When you start taking and combining stuff where it shouldn't be. A full line item, I don't care if it's 8 ballots. I don't care if it's 9 ballots. You may not like it. You may fear it being that way because there's spending that you're counting on that we may turn down. Well, that's how a true constitutional republic works. We don't care about democracy because America is not a democracy. America is a constitutional republic. And as soon as you indoctrinated fools understand that, the easier things will go for you. We're all done with it. And with this plowing does bother me because you're not really thinking about the whole thing in a rational manner.
To borrow you to be our plower, I would take you to your packet that you have and that front sheet that's in what you're looking at. There's no page, I guess it's page 6. It's where it says agenda item 9B on the front. The contract as it is written right now requires a bond.
Let me move this up a little
And
bit.
whether or not you're comfortable with that, certainly in dollars and cents, it's a very considerable amount of money to not have up front. The previous contractor had been asking for considerable monies up front to get started in the season, but Paul is willing to forego that.
What this is the contract that him and our great incompetent public works director, because see, Dave Bennett does whatever Gary says. Dave has always just been the little puppet, like I said in other videos. Now, this right here, as far as the bond goes, we're not paying the guy anyway. It's going in installments. So what I'm looking at is if this guy up and he just cannot take care of 3 towns, because, Dayton and Lyman, do the research yourself. They have had problems. How many of you, the second you get out of Waterboro town line into Lyman or Dayton, how are the roads? Those are the roads we're going to have here in Waterboro now because this is what Gary and them are looking at. This is the person they're going to pick up. And, well, if this guy starts running out of money along February because he didn't have the payments ahead and 50% of his money is not coming till March, we could be in a lot of trouble. We could be in a world of hurt. This is not rational thinking. This is trying to convince the people that they are fiscal conservatives when the moves that they're making are not sensible. Fiscal conservatism is, yes, you conserve the people's money, but you do not pad somebody's pocket for $400,000 worth of so-called capital improvements that'll last a year, maybe two tops, and need to be done again because they're always done Mickey Mouse, and then put the expense onto the people. And then at the expense of our safety. You know, I remember many a times coming through Lyman before my emphysema took me out of pretty much out of everything. When I was plowing for people, going through Dayton and Lyman a lot of times in storms just to get home to get some sleep, I would have to plow the road myself just so I could get through it. And these are the people they're going to put in charge of our roads. So remember, next winter we may be having to hold these people accountable for their games like always. So, but I will be keeping up on this, and I'll see what this mailer has to say, and we'll have to see if we can hold Gary Lamb and them accountable for, no, this line item is line item. It's what the government should have done forever. There's no combining stuff. Like the letter said in the reporter, if you get a chance to go check it out, people do it. Because they're combining things that shouldn't be combined together just to get them passed through, and they're hiding it under the lie of confining down the ballots. So that's what I have for you right now, ladies and gentlemen, and I will keep you informed. So, as always, this is No Way Out.